stop sinning. So Bishop, wait a minute now. That's pretty how can I say it? That's pretty projective of you. That's pretty suggestive of you to say that as if that we are. Well, that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Sin. Sin. And how do I stop it? How do I stop it? If you're honest with yourself. Good morning, everybody. How about this topic on this morning for Morning Manna? Got a word for you, some impartation for sure. Some impartation for sure on this morning. How is everybody on this morning? We're talking about the acronym of sin. The acronym of sin. Let me greet a couple of people and then we're going to get right into the word on this morning. Good morning. Good morning, Erica. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Brenda. How are you on this morning? Angela, how are you? Diane, how are you? Brother Nesbitt, how are you on this morning? Sharon, how are you on this morning? Lena, my homegirl, how are you on this morning? Elder Mobley, how are you on this morning? Can we be honest? Joan Rivers used to say, can we talk? Can we just talk? I mean, it's just you and I, nobody else, just you and I here on the internet. Nobody's listening. If you ever had problems with stop doing particular things that you know that are anathema, negative of what God would have you to do, that's what we're going to talk about on this morning. But I need honest people. I need can honest people put something in the chat area on this morning. Good morning, Joelle. How are you on this morning? What a wonderful morning it is. Good morning, Ella. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Yvonne. How are you on this morning? Ari, how are you? Verena, how are you guys on this morning? I need honest people. AD Duncan, can I get some honest Dunklin? How are you all on this morning? Have you ever had a struggle in a particular thing that you know, man, this is just not of God? At the end of the day, for me, as Apollos writes in Hebrews, says, lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily beset us. Not a common topic that we use, but that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Good morning, Ken. How are you on this morning? Tally, how are you? Anna, how are you? Dagny, how are you on this morning? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the text to talk, the takeaway, and then in 5 minutes or less. And then what you're going to do is put your comments in the chat area. The cumulative effect of the revelation that we get on this morning is going to help everybody as we share it. That means you got to share it. Here is what we want to share. The acronym of sin. The acronym of sin. Paul said this: when I want to do right, evil is always right there. It's always right there. When I get ready to do what I know I should do, I don't. He said this in the 7th chapter of Romans. So I liken this as the life of us in the shell of our humanity. I've been forgiven from the sin of adoption. I'm going to see him, but I struggle with omission and commission. Here is the acronym I think that is going to help you. The text is Romans 3:23. Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Let's recognize its impact, and I think it will help you. The S stands for it causes you to be satisfied with less than what God has for you. It causes you to be satisfied with less than what God has for you. Ephesians 3:20 tells you what God has for you. He will do exceedingly abundantly more than you could ever ask or think by the power that works in you. That's what God has for you. Moses wrote the words and says that you are the head and not the tail. I like to add you're the front of the line and not the back of the line. At the end of the day, God has more for you, And sin causes you to be satisfied with less than what God has for you. The I stands for, it causes you to internalize guilt and shame. Now, therefore, there is no condemnation for them that believes. First John 1:9 says this: confess your sins, your faults to one another, and he is faithful and just to forgive us from our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. But many times that sin causes us to internalize it. We become shameful. We become unforgiving even of ourselves, and we walk in guilt. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. The N stands for nullifies. It nullifies the fabulous future that God has for us. It nullifies the fabulous future that God has for us. It says the wages of sin is death. It's death of the fabulous future that God has for us. So when I recognize that, I can do as Apollo says in the 12th chapter of Hebrews, where he says, lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily causes you not to run that race. That's how you overcome it. Hey, the Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. Yesterday, I talked about the mood. Don't have a sinful mood. Change your mood, though, before it changes your life. The Lord be with you. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. God bless you. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. Bye now.